Hey guys, welcome back to Baking with Matisse. Last week I told you guys there's going to be a new type of video this week, and that type of video is me testing out Great British Bake Off recipes. For the Great British Bake Off videos I'm going to be doing, I won't have tried the recipe out beforehand, so you'll be watching me bake it the very first time, and I'll be giving you my honest feedback about how it turned out for me. For the first recipe, I wanted to do Paul Hollywood's Rainbow Bagels from Bread Week of Bake Off, so let's get right into it. To make these rainbow bagels, I grabbed 150 grams of all-purpose flour. The recipe called for bread flour, but I didn't have any. 5 grams or 1 packet of instant yeast, 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 240 milliliters of warm water, some assorted food coloring, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I started by putting the flour in the bowl of a stand mixer with the dough attachment and then added the yeast to one side of the bowl and the salt and sugar to the other. You don't need to use the stand mixer, but I did because I had it and I thought it would make it easier. After mixing that with my hands for just a few seconds, I added 3/4 of the water and let the mixture run until the dough was starting to form. Then I slowly added in the rest of the water and kept mixing until the dough fully came together. I like to do most of the kneading by hand, so I kneaded the dough for about 5 minutes until it was nice and smooth. I then divided the dough into 5 equal parts, and working with one at a time, tried to dye them 5 different colors of the rainbow. I really struggled getting the coloring evenly throughout each piece of dough, and had to work with each one for up to 10 minutes. Even after adding more than 10 drops of food coloring, I still didn't have a vibrant color, but at that point it was good enough for me. Some of my struggles might have been because I was using liquid food coloring, which was all I had, instead of gel like the recipe called for. After I got all the colors incorporated, I put each dough ball in a greased bowl, covered it, and let it rise for about an hour. Once they were doubled in size, I rolled each one out, starting with red, into a 12 by 20 centimeter rectangle. I pressed firmly on top of the stack after adding each new color to make sure it really stuck together. I cut them into 6 strips the long way, and then twisted them and did my best to seal it together. They then needed to rise again for another 20 minutes. Once they had risen slightly, I put them in 2 at a time in a boiling pot of water with the baking soda in it. They only needed to be in here for about 30 seconds on each side, but apparently this is what gives them that chewy bagel texture. Finally, all that was left to do is bake them at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. In a poll I did on my Instagram a while back, you guys asked that I taste the things that I make at the end of each video. With this recipe especially, because I had never made it before, I thought I'd do a live tasting in front of you. So, here are the rainbow bagels. The proportions I think are pretty similar to a normal bagel. I will say that they're not perfectly smooth because I had to twist them. And also, I struggled with pinching the seam together, so you might be able to kind of tell where I tried to pinch the seam. It's not perfectly clean. Now, first, I'm just gonna try one that I lightly toasted and then put some butter on. So no cream cheese. It has that nice crisp exterior, and then it's soft and chewy on the inside. It tastes like any other bagel that you'd buy at the store or whatnot, but so much better because it's homemade. Now I'm gonna spread some cream cheese on it. Let's give this a try. The cream cheese gives it that tang, and it contrasts so nice with the soft, chewy, crisp bagel itself. It's really like the perfect snack breakfast food. Eat it whenever you want. Overall, I think I'd definitely give this a 8. It turned out great flavor-wise and texture-wise, but some of the parts were a little bit tricky, like getting it to seal and form a nice circle, and also getting the color fully incorporated throughout the dough. That took a while for me. I definitely recommend you try making these, and even if you don't want to make them rainbow and fancy. Like making plain bagels, it's really not too difficult and it's so worth it. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.